Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Robert Martinez. I'm the healthcare administrator here at ARC. And today we have the pleasure of talking about our activities programs. So activities in healthcare, activities in assisted living, as well as activities in the memory care unit, the Oaks. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, just a couple of house rules. If you could take a second to just silence your phones, so that way you guys can enjoy the information that we're going to share with you. And if you guys have any questions, we'll have a period at the end of the session where you guys can ask any questions you want. We'll even stay afterwards to answer any questions you may have in general about healthcare. Okay, at this time I will turn it over to Alexis.
Good morning, everybody. All right, so my name's Alexis. I'm the activity director for our healthcare unit and for Crestway Assisted Living as well. I am a recreation therapist, and I will get into my section, but first I want to discuss just the purpose overall of, what we're doing with activities. So the presentation today is going to help everybody just understand the processes and the approaches in which we each take to provide daily activities to all of our residents. And then we'll just discuss the different ways that we kind of go about our activities, the different populations, and how that looks for us. So the goal of activities is to overall just promote quality of life, and we do this by providing engaging activities and opportunities for people to do activities and get together and do things that really encompass the health of the whole person, so holistic health. So our activities promote independence, dignity, and overall well-being. So in our department, we really focus on our activities on covering 5 domains. So this is the physical health, cognitive and intellectual stimulation, social connections, emotional expressions, and then spiritual fulfillment. So you'll kind of see when we talk about each of our activities that all of them really have different points where we touch on all of these because we want to really encompass that whole health of the person and really get everything that we can. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rachel.
Hi, my name is Rachel Perez, and I'm the Assisted Living Manager for Lakeside. I'm subbing for Miss Sandy Oberly. She's actually out on vacation, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the activities at Lakeside. Okay, so residents of assisted living communities typically receive help with personal care tasks, but remain relatively independent. When it comes to activities, as a result, activities are engaging and often focused on residents' interests. So why get involved in activities? Reduces loneliness, improves physical and mental strength, increases sense of purpose, a sense of meaning and belonging, cognitive stimulation, better quality of life, and increased engagement in the community. Guidelines for choosing the activities, in which what Alexis kind of went over. Emotional, she has music performances, music therapy. We have entertainers that come out, sometimes theater, kind of little groups that will perform. Then environmental, floral arranging, outdoor socials. Sometimes she walks around the lake with certain residents who want to just do some type of walking, looking at the swans, turtles, things like that. Intellectual, brain games, documentaries, and then different guest speakers. Physical, she has an exercise program every morning using different equipments, kind of playing with a ball. Sometimes she utilizes weights. And then social, providing opportunities for residents to enjoy each other's company. She does have a small happy hour, fiestas, Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day. She's had events where, they kind of just get together, little parties. And then spiritual, chapel, and Bible study. So those are some of the activities that she does have at Lakeside. Okay. I don't know how to switch it to the calendar. Okay. And then here's an example of just her calendar for May. Goes day by day on the activities. But on top of that, sometimes she has tables aside where she'll lay out puzzles. We have a lot of self-led card games, Liverpool, dominoes, things like that, where certain residents like to get together and kind of do their own social event. Okay, and that's pretty much it for Lakeside. And then here are some pictures of just an outside outing. She usually has like a Mother's Day event outside, a picnic in July, a barbecue. And then we also include a lot of volunteers from different outside home health agencies that actually come in and help. Okay.
Okay, hello again. Okay, so now I can go a little bit into my department, which is healthcare and then Crestway Assisted Living. So in healthcare and Crestway, we do have residents that, have different levels of needs. So we have different levels of ways to support and participate them in activities. So some of my approaches include verbal reminders on top of the calendars that are in each of their rooms and in common areas. Verbal reminders really help. Assistance getting people to and from activities daily. And then guidance and cueing during participation. So this might look like reminding of rules, going over rules again. It might be hands-on assistance in activities as well. And this just ensures engagement for everybody and then safety as well. So some activity examples that we do a lot of cognitive activities. So they love trivia. We have bingo, of course, dominoes, card games. We do exercise and wellness groups. We have volleyball on Tuesdays, dance, yoga, different types of games. We do cornhole. Social groups, so this might be social events. This is social groups where we get together. Recently we did a coffee and conversation. We sat outside and chatted and kind of learned about each other. That was really nice. Creative arts, we do a lot of painting, crafts. Yesterday we made sun catchers. That was fun. We have a lot of pet and animal visits, live music and entertainment often. We have our resident council as well. We go outdoors when the weather is nice. It's so beneficial to go outside. And then, of course, our special events and large group celebrations. So some of those include, we did a Mother's Day tea party recently. That was really nice. We did a fiesta barbecue recently. We've had parties for major holidays and events. We did a Mardi Gras parade, Valentine's Day party, New Year's Day party. So lots of different opportunities for people to get together, socialize, and just feel good, right? So in my department, there are some goals that I have and considerations with the population that I have. So the goal, of course, is continuous engagement and recreation so we can promote mood, socialization, and just overall health. But mood and socialization are a very important factor within the people that I see. So another consideration for me is scheduling. So a lot of residents that are in healthcare might also be going for physical therapy. So scheduling can be a challenge at times because, of course, they have their times when they're going to physical therapy, they're going to appointments. So I like to make sure that there is multiple opportunities throughout the day, every week, that they can engage in something they enjoy in between those times that they're doing the other things that they may need to do. This also includes having accesses to different resources. So I often have activity sheets, I have puzzles, I have lots of things open and available for people to grab. In the meantime, they can take it to their room. Excuse me. And then, of course, motivation. So this is a part of the reason why I focus so much on mood and social groups and getting together and doing things, because a lot of people, when they come to healthcare, they think, I don't feel good, I'm here for this reason, maybe, and when you're not feeling too great, you might not want to get out and do a dance group exercise, you might not want to do those things. So I do really focus on understanding that motivation might be a little low at the moment, and tailoring and modifying activities for those people so they can feel more comfortable engaging. And then, of course, we do have room-to-room visits for individualized participation and needs. So we do have residents that stay in their rooms for different reasons, and so I do make sure that those residents also are still engaging in activities. So that might look like me going room to room, sitting with them, helping them participate in activities. It might be volunteers coming. I have lovely volunteers that come often, and they might go in and sit with them. They might help them one-on-one engage in activities. So I really try to focus on making sure every resident has a way to participate, however that looks like for them, because there is lots of varying levels of needs, preferences. So an approach that I take is knowing everybody's preferences. I really take time to get to know each resident as they come in, and just know what they like, how they like to get places and do things. I know their drink orders, and then just anticipating their needs. Okay, I'm going to move on to my calendar. So this is an example of my calendar for May. I have roughly 150 activities in this calendar. Some reoccurring activities that we have great participation in, so of course I keep it often. We do lots of social groups, so I touched on that a bit. Our trivia, bingo, dominoes. We do Uno. Our Uno, dominoes, and Mexican train, those are very well participated, and we do those very often. They enjoy those. Our live music is really great. I do a cooking demo once a month, and they seem to really enjoy that. I often collaborate with a dietitian, and it's an educational series, so that's really nice. And then, of course, our movement groups. And then I did touch on some of the special events. So we did our Mother's Day Tea Party. The Fiesta was recently. So lots of opportunities to get involved in a way that works for each resident. Okay. Then here's just some pictures from recent activities, some of our cooking demos, some music. We did floral arrangement. That's from our Fiesta barbecue down at the bottom. Animal visit. I brought my cat one time. They like that. And then we did bowling. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Andrea.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrea, and I am the Activities Director in the Oaks Memory Care Unit. I have been working at the ARC for 4 years now, and I learn something new every day working in memory care. It is, every moment is different, so things change a lot, but the residents in the Oaks keep me on my toes, and it's been a good 4 years. I'm learning a lot always. And so I'm going to go ahead and just start out with reading the first section here, just an overview on my goals and the structure of having, being in a memory care unit and the things that I focus on as the activities director. Residents admitted to memory care require specific care and engagement tailored to their needs. A memory care activities framework is built on structured daily routines, individualized care plans, and a holistic approach that engages residents physically, cognitively, and emotionally. The structure creates comfort and reduces anxiety, while varied activities enrich residents' lives by fostering a sense of purpose and connection. So just to kind of go more in detail about that, so our daily schedule is very structured. And this is really important because dementia patients do benefit from a routine. This helps decrease anxiety and provide a sense of stability. We have group activities at the same time daily, individual activities at certain times every day. Everyone sits at a designated table. Residents read their favorite books in the morning daily, and I can see that this really does benefit the residents. And each resident does have an individual care plan tailored to their preferences and their interests and their history. And whenever I do have a resident come in the Oaks, or even our long-term residents, I'm thinking about what has been a major part of their story. So, of course, we think about, oh, well, what was their occupation, and ways that we can connect and like I have a resident that was a professional singer, and so he, of course, loves music. So anytime there's music or a performer, I mean, he will sing along, and he's led us in our sing-along groups. And this, of course, really, really benefits him so much. I have a resident that was a pilot, of course, in the military, and so anytime there was a plane on the TV or he saw planes, it's kind of like he lit up. So my goal was to just like incorporate planes and everything that, if I could find some planes. I got some planes donated to us, which was great. So it's just things like that we just try to make a connection there. And of course, I've had residents that were teachers. A lot of my residents have been teachers in the past, and so I have a geography class, and they're my assistant. And this, of course, brings a sense of purpose, and they can it brings memory recall, and just a sense of reminiscing as well. Sensory activities are a focus in memory care. By focusing on the 5 senses, touch, smell, sight, and sound, and taste, these activities foster emotional connection, improve mood, and enhance the quality of life for individuals with dementia. So every week we have a sensory focus. So we do things like, we're going to do trivia based, so we're going to find the color in the room. We're going to do a trivia game focusing on sounds and instruments, and identifying those things. We're doing taste tests, which they really like, cooking demos that I incorporate sensory simulation as well. So that's a major focus, and it really, really does help engage the residents in a way that I can see really, really does benefit them. Okay, and let's see here. Cognitive enhancing activities are an important part of the daily activities in the Oaks as well. This can assist in slowing the memory decline. It helps maintain independence as well, and can reduce behavioral symptoms. Whether it's puzzles, games, trivia, books, these are activities that the residents are consistently engaged with daily. So in the mornings, after they're finished with their breakfast, all the residents are doing a favorite activity of theirs. So whether it's reading a book, doing puzzles, I've had a resident that really enjoyed cleaning. We have a little duster, and she would like to dust our our cabinets, so she would help me out with that. We would go out on the patio and sweep. So that, those things are really important. Sense of purpose, again, and keeping the residents engaged. Music is also a major part of the program in the Oaks. Individuals with dementia, they tend to respond so well to music and can remember every song lyric. So music can it can shift the mood, and it can it's a sense of reminiscing. It can also serve as a really great social connection, and just a sense of community. I have live performers that come in and sing songs, and they enjoy that so much. We do sing-alongs. and that's like a weekly thing that we do. There's always music playing in the Oaks, their favorite songs and 50s, golden oldies. And so it's just very beneficial, and I can see the difference in mood. And so I'll just read a little bit of the activities here. We do, of course, music sing-alongs, art sessions, music therapy. We have dance therapy as well, sensory activities, reminiscing groups, cognitive enhancing activities and games, aromatherapy. We do photo album groups, social events, and parties. We also partner, me and Alexis partner, and do the major events, the big events. The Fiesta event was a recent event that we had, Mother's Day, things like that we do join together on. So my focus in memory care, some of the things here that are so important are to meet the resident where they are and create a sense of a safe space and a supportive environment. So safety, of course, is a really big thing. And there's a lot of queuing, there's a lot of engagement. So really have to be attuned to where the resident is, and so that's my goal daily. I'm always observing. I'm always just my nonverbal cues and things like that, just to make sure that I'm doing my part when it comes to making sure that the resident is that whole person health there. So that's a big focus. Base the activity plan on the individual history, interests, strengths, current cognitive abilities. So the care plans are so important, and that's very individualized. Again, my goal is just to get a sense of who the resident is and where I can meet them there. Continuous individual and group activities daily. So we always have things going on in the Oaks. We have 2 group activities daily, and in between that time, there are individual activities, self-initiating activities. So that's games that they like to do on their own. Of course, different puzzle games, things like that, books, all those good things. Regular communication with families, keep them informed about their loved ones' progress. So that is also a major part of my job in the Oaks. I stay in contact with all the family members, give them updates on how the resident is doing, their participation, and just overall how they're doing. And of course, the family really appreciates that. Most of my residents, really all of my residents that I've had in the Oaks, their families are very involved, which is so great. And my goal is to always have at least one event a month to involve the families, so they can come and we have like a party or a social, and they can of course talk with the other family members. And that of course is also a very beneficial thing that I can see really helps the residents to have the families involved in that way. So family involvement can be very a key component in creating a sense of reassurance and uplift their mood. And family events are held monthly. And let me go to, sorry. So I have my calendar here. So of course my calendar is a little different. So we have a focus, like how I structure my calendar is Mondays I have a focus, Tuesday I have a focus. So Mondays we usually start our activities with some type of exercise and dance therapy, movement, something very kind of physically engaging. We usually start off our Mondays with. And then there's a lot of games. We're always having a game, which the residents really enjoy. So whether it's trivia, cognitive games, We do, of course, bingo is something that they really love, but we have different bingos. So we have music bingo, we have animal bingo, so different things like that that are really good for the residents to kind of visually kind of see, and they can hear. It's, of course, sensory as well. And then on Tuesdays, we have a pretty full schedule. And I kind of try to pack in a lot of different things in there. But again, lots of games, and we also do pet therapy as well. Of course, I have live performers, lots of sensory activities. So different things, but again, like I do focus on a theme out of, just with the days of the week. And that does work well, and try to keep it structured in that way. And okay, and these are some pictures that I have taken, and up at the left top corner, that's our dance therapy group that we're doing. Some of the residents are, of course, they're getting moving. And in the top middle section, we have music therapy. We have a great music therapist that comes and does groups with us. And we have arts and crafts. I have a volunteer that comes and does reading groups, and he's great, and the residents really respond well. Animal therapy, and then, of course, at the bottom, I have a family event for Christmas. That was a great party there. So this is these are some of the things that we do in the Oaks, and thank you. Oh, yes, I'm doing so sorry. I'm still here. Okay, so this is the summary here. So activities programming across all communities is designed to promote quality of life through meaningful engagement that supports residents' overall well-being. While approaches vary by setting, all programs aim to meet the residents where they are. So our focus is really overall, we are really aiming to do the same thing, but our approaches are just a little different because our populations are different. Assisted living focuses on independence and interest-driven activities. Healthcare Crestway provides additional support and guidance for participation, and memory care offers more structured, cueing-based programming designed to support cognitive needs. So that is our overall summary there. Sorry, I keep going back. Okay, and now we'll open everything for questions.
Excuse me. Okay.
You gave us the agenda for the healthcare. You did not, is there an activities list for Crestway assisted living? Or do you rely upon the people coming downstairs and participating? I know some of them do participate in the activities here.
Yes, yes, thank you. So yes, I did just include my healthcare calendar, and the reason is the Crestway one is fairly similar. The only difference I have is our resident councils are different. I have two separate ones. And then I have a music performance or two that's separate. But typically we are collaborating the same way that I approach healthcare activities and gathering residents, going room to room, bringing them to activities. I do the same thing with Crestway. So I apologize for not including that one, but it is the same. I still go to Crestway. I know them very well. I know their preferences, their needs, and we do the same thing. We all collaborate. I do some activities in the healthcare activity room. I do some in the Crestway activity room. So it's a good way for all of us to come together. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about activities on weekends?
Yes, absolutely. So for healthcare and Crestway Assisted Living, and I'm going to go back to my calendar a bit, but we do have weekend activities as well. We have daily activities. There it is. So weekend activities, so I am here during the week. So weekend activities, I do have volunteers that come in, and then it is also resident self-led. So for this, the way I support them is I ensure that they are aware of the activities over the weekends and they have the resources to do them. So for example, we have on Saturdays, we do a left, right, center game, and then I put where it's going to be. I have the game there in the room, and then I also have like instructions for how to play, ways to change it up. And then of course, with all the activities we do on the weekends, we've had like for left, right, center before I introduced that game, we did a day during the week where I taught everybody how to play. So we're all aware. I'm not just throwing things out there and hoping they figure it out. And then we have entertainment. So I do have a piano player that comes the second and fourth Saturday of the month. So that's a little less structured, something for them to just go and enjoy. They don't have to worry about setting something up or knowing how to do it. And then on the weekends, we have Mexican Train. I have volunteers that come to help with that. But yes, so different approaches, different ways, whether it's just having it there or having volunteers or people come out to help it. And then just engaging and encouraging the residents to have that sense of independence and autonomy and try to go do it. And then every week on Monday, I'll check in and say, how was it? How was Mexican Train? How was this? How was the music? Just checking in how it's going. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, did you want to say yours?
In the Oaks, how do they take what's the medications that they take? Like that, is there a pharmacy or a person that, I'm sure somebody gives out the medicine to each person every day? And I was wondering, do they look at it as, my wife was in there for 3 or 4 years, but they had her on so much medication, I think it was making her ill, but who takes care of that?
I'll answer that. Sure. Yes, and actually we do have licensed nurses and medication aides that do pass the medications to, or give the medications to the residents. Making sure though that we also check for any adverse reactions, like if they are making them drowsy, things like that, we do notify the doctors to making sure to adjust the medication or look into why is it causing that drowsiness or sleeplessness. Okay.
And I will add that as another person in the Oaks, I'm not a part of the clinical staff, but as far as my observations, and we have a morning meeting at 9 o'clock every day. So if I am noticing any changes in behaviors, or I have kind of that kind of different sense of nonverbal cues and things like that, I will definitely bring it up to the clinical staff and let them know, hey, this resident is, displaying these things. Can we look at this? Can we look at this? So.
Excuse me.
I don't have a question for you all. I have a question for all these people. Number one, do you know where healthcare and assisted living in Crestway is and how to find your way around? Do you know where the Oaks is and how to find your way around? And the same thing on Lakeside for assisted living. The Archangels is a group of volunteers who make it possible for those full calendars up there. And so I just want to call your attention to that. If you were interested in any of those activities, you can do one a month or one a week or every day. That would be a lot, but hey. And our job as archangels is to support these amazing women who have more energy than I had when I think I was their age, but they're also incredibly pleasant to work with and to find out. So I do tours. If anybody wants to tour it, you just need to let me know. My name's Paulette, and I'm happy to hand you a business card and let you contact me, because our job right now is to build up the archangels so that we can really support all those activities and the weekend ones when our activity directors are not here. So I'm always looking for folks who are interested. And just a reminder, we're here because we're probably going to sometime be in healthcare or assisted living or maybe the Oaks, and we need to know what's going on and support the program to be the best it can be for each one of us. So I commend them for the job they've done and are doing.
Thank you so much. I was just going to mention that we couldn't do this without all of our great volunteers, archangels. We have the Golden Diggers who assist us so much in the Oaks as well. If you guys haven't had a chance, I invite y'all to please come over. We've done some improvements as far as painting. We've painted the healthcare center. The Oaks is looking so much better. We've taken down all the striped wallpaper. We got this beautiful paint. Just resident services and Debbie have gone out and bought some beautiful artwork that we're putting up as we speak. We knocked down a wall to kind of give the Oaks a bigger area. We're putting the TV back on a mobile mount so that we can move the TV around wherever we need to. We got a grill back there now so that we can actually just go back there and grill at any given moment. Doesn't have to be on the calendar. We can just be impromptu and go out there and just have a really good time. So it's all about having fun in the Oaks. The Oaks is one of my baby. I really do. I really focus more on the Oaks probably. And I don't know if I should say that or not with the Boston's building, but I do. It is my most vulnerable population, so I want to make sure that we have the right people, we have the right training. We're always looking for additional training. As a matter of fact, looking at now getting some dementia training for our staff as well, just kind of re-educate them. They've had it in the past, but every so often you kind of just need a reminder of things that you should be doing. So anyway, we're always constantly trying to improve our areas. But we encourage you to come by, visit with me, Faye, who is our director of nurses, these lovely ladies up here. We have a really good team back there.
I'm going to get back to that important question about medication that was asked. Is there someone that you consult with that's a geriatric psychiatrist who supervises and looks at all of the medications rather than just a nurse? I mean, I didn't mean to say that in any way that would downplay the skills of a nurse, but I'm familiar, at least with my own life experience. A geriatric psychiatrist made a huge difference in the level of cognitive alertness of my husband, and it was changed everything about his personality to the positive. Is something like that supervises the medications and how it is affecting and manages that rather than just disperses it and looks at their level of drowsiness?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. We do have a group called Senior Psych Services where we have a nurse practitioner that comes every week and reviews medications, also follows up every resident that is on their services, and not even on their services. We ask them to review some residents that are having some reactions to medications, especially the psychotropics, antidepressants, hypnotics, all of them together, and see if they are on the right combination, right levels. And we do actually. And then that also she consults to the psychiatrist itself and our medical director and a pharmacist. So all of us is a team that we have that focus on that area.
And our goal is to keep them on as minimal medication as possible. That's why activities is so important. You keep them involved, you keep them active. less behaviors, they tend to focus on the current. So,
Well, I'm Cecil Martin. I think most of you know me. But I was privileged to be working at Electronic Security Command when this place was discussed. My wife's cousins lived right up the street there, and we come visit them. We saw this place be built. So I went off to my career, came back 40 years later, and here's what we have. And I can tell you that it's better than we thought, than we planned. The things that we wanted is a place for the soldier to come, his wife, when they needed help. That's what it started out as. And it was amazing how much money we collected. I was working with General Larson, the Electronic Security Command at the time. Can you hear me? At the time, and I went in and talked to him, and I said I was called because I'd been involved. And General Larson couldn't wait. So was Haddon. He said, "You're going to be my representative." And you won't believe the number of generals that came out of woodwork in support of this. Because we all really knew that we needed a place like this. It was really built for the soldier to come when they needed help. And mainly we talked about the wives. We felt like that we had to have a place for the wives to come because most of the wives outlived their husbands. This place is better than that. It's better than I ever dreamed. I came to the Vietnam era. I couldn't believe the number of people that needed help, and we didn't have help for them. So I think this place was going under until Steve came here. And a lot of you disagree with me. We brought Steve in because he was a manager. He also was with the Catholic nuns. I don't know if you know his background. Talked him out of leaving there and coming here. And I think so when I retired fully, my wife had a heart attack and stroke, lived in Austin. I woke up one morning and she didn't know me. The first thing I did was take her to I don't know if you're familiar with the Austin area, and University of Texas Health Center. Rushed her there. She stayed there 60 days and recovered. And by that time, I had contacted my wife's cousin to see if this place had been built. Said, "You won't believe it, you won't believe the tall buildings down here." I said, "I got to see it." So my son brought us down here, and I couldn't believe we had this high-rise out here. And so since my wife had a heart attack and stroke, we came down here. And she really was in a messed up way, right? Now, we also had help through the military. She stayed out there, and of course, I'm a disabled veteran. And what I was very pleased about is a number of the military people that actually contributed money. And what I want to say is left up to us to make sure that the original purpose is fulfilled. And we live across the way now, and I'm a disabled veteran, and my wife has recovered. You won't believe how much she's recovered since we've been over there. And they have a wonderful staff across the way. Everybody said, "What do you want to call it that for?" I said, "Well, just across the way to me," because I live across the street from her in a cottage. And the more I stay over there, the more I'm impressed with the staff. They're always coming in, asking if you need help. It's really amazing. And so it's worth every penny we put in it. And so I encourage a lot of people that I know, if you want to make a contribution, make it to this place. Now, I've been able to deduct some of my stuff and the taxes and stuff. I'm a little selfish, all right. And so, since I've been here, when I came here, it was sort of run down. Steve came in, and I have to tell you, he really revived the place. We have to give him credit for that. But it's still up to you all, us. If we lose interest in making sure he does his, we have to make sure he does his job right. And we have a wonderful staff. I can't believe the staff that we have across the way. They're always coming in and out to make sure we need something. So this is really what the place has become. Mainly, it satisfies more than what we thought it would. Our main interest was still for our wives. Remember that. And I see it over there all the time. And of course, I saw it over here before we moved from here. It was a place for the wives to come. It fulfills its purpose, and let's don't forget that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. And I agree with Steve. He's good.
Well, thank you very much, Cecil Martin. I really appreciate those comments. I just want to say a couple of things. These ladies up here are incredible. Andrea, Alexis, Rachel, and even Sandy over at Lakeside. They do work with some of our most vulnerable residents, and we're very excited. We've invested in people that have professional degrees and are outstanding, so they're a huge extension of what all we do. But I share his plea for help primarily through the Archangels and trying to get that volunteerism strong as it has been. I think in June we have an article coming out in the Eagle magazine highlighting the Archangels. So really it takes all of us, and Carol, all the work we're doing with the strategic roundtables and the 250 by 250. It's really an exciting time, and we've seen healthcare elevate extremely under Robert's leadership and the team that we have. And back a little bit to the Oaks and medications, you know, most of that starts with the primary care physician. They write all those orders, and then we follow, and we monitor the medications. The pharmacist we use through TownHall, they have a consultant pharmacist that comes out every month and reviews all the medication regimens, in addition to the psychiatrist if we need that support. So, you know, hope you have a lot of confidence in the healthcare we have here, and it's really an incredible team. And just want to also thank Debbie for all the interim improvements you've seen. If you do go down to the Oaks, look at the way it's opened up and just the light and brightness. And Andrea's a blessing to really enhance what they do there. So thanks very much. And Robert, back to you, good sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Any other questions? If not, we will be here afterwards. So if anybody wants to meet one-on-one, we'll be here as well. So thank you guys so much for everything. Appreciate you. And go Spurs.